First of all, we need to know what is 3R. 3R refers to reduce, reuse, and recycle, particularly in context of production and consumption of items. The first R is stand for reduce. The concept of reduce is we should limit the number or the amount of purchases that we make in the first place. The concept behind the second R is reuse. We should reuse items as much as possible before replacing them. We also need to know how to reuse or repurpose the items by using a different method and different function for that items too. This concept will generally makes an environmental sense for ourselves also and for people to learn how to reuse the items instead of we throw that items away and buy a new one. The third R is stand for recycle. Recycle means the items will be transformed again into a raw material that can be shaped into a new items. Next, I will pass these presentations to Adam so that he will continue explaining about the 3R implementation in universities throughout Malaysia. Thank you.
For this research, our group have claimed that the implementation of the concept of 3R in universities throughout Malaysia is not at the best place, and our group wants to know the reason behind it. During the early stage of this research, we have built several hypotheses that is related to our topic as to why this situation happened. Our group claimed that the passive implementation of 3R in universities is because of lack of knowledge and awareness among the students, the degree of influence of environment, the lack of alternative recycling option, the lack of enforcement and regulation by the university's authorities, and the students' mindset itself. The hypotheses were built to have answers to that question, and in order to have a reliable and valid data, our group has conducted a survey form and chose a Google Form-based questionnaire that have been distributed among the students of universities throughout Malaysia to prove our hypothesis. In line with our group's hypothesis, our survey has revealed that the reason behind the passive implementation of 3R in universities is due to the lack of knowledge and awareness among the students itself. Based on the overall response provided by the respondents, our group can conclude that most of the students still fail to answer the basic knowledge about 3R correctly. Besides that, the survey that our group distributes was to have a better understanding towards the surrounding culture that will affect the influence and behavioral and the familiarity of the respondents toward the concept of 3R. From the data, it indicates that the surrounding culture has been one of the factors that caused the implementations of the concept of 3R to halt from being success. This data also indicates that the students are still living in a society which lack in 3R awareness. This finding is agreeable with our hypothesis. Furthermore, our survey also supports our hypothesis that claim that the lack of alternative recycling option has been one of the factors that interfere with the success of the implementation of 3R.
The fourth factors that related to the implementation of the 3R concept in the universities is that the enforcement and regulation by the university's authorities. The data that was obtained is agreeable with the early hypothesis of this experiment that claimed that the lack of enforcement and regulation by the university's authorities have been one of the factors that make the implementation of the concept of 3R in the universities has been perceived. Even though the university's authorities have the power and entitled to compound or make a punishment towards the students that did not practice the concept of 3R according to the university's terms and conditions, that to encourage them to practice the 3R, but they fail to do so. For the next one is the students' mindset contrary with the early hypothesis of this experiment. The students of university's mindset did not become the factors that caused the implementation of the concept of 3R to be success in universities around Malaysia. According to the data, most of the students still don't have the audacity to start practice 3R. They didn't take the concept of 3R that was implemented in the universities as seriously because they thought that that is not their job to do that. because there might be another worker to do for them. So that is why the implementation of the 3R is failed in the universities in Malaysia.
Today I want to talk about conclusion part. For conclusion, by having a thorough in-depth analysis from the data that was collected from the respondent, which consists of the student of university throughout Malaysia, it can be concluded that the rate of implementation of the concept of 3R is still just at the satisfactory stage and not at the best place. This research also lead to a question as to what will the society and authority react toward this problem and what are the solutions that can be made to overcome this problem. To have a better understanding and discernment toward the implication of the finding, future study could address as what are the solutions that can be made to enhance the implementation of the concept of 3R in university throughout Malaysia.